Okay.
Oh, there's apparently there's a South Park reference in the Fairly Odd Parents reboot.
Wait, there's a what of the Fairly Odd Parents reboot?
There's a South Park reference in the Fairly Odd Parents reboot.
That is confusing
Yeah,
for many
I don't
reasons.
know why.
All right. Well, should we just jump our little bony butts into this? Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Xenoblade Network, Episode 1. I'm one of your four blades, Spencer, and joining me are my three best buddies. First buddy is Alto.
Reference in the Fairly Odd Parents reboot.
That is confusing
Yeah,
for many
I don't
reasons.
know
My
why.
next buddy is definitely beaten 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rimjob.
My mic was
Yep,
on.
that's right. Ringo's over there. He beat it, definitely.
Oh yeah, 100%. I showed up to all of Macca streams, therefore I beat it.
And
Speaking
my
of Macca, hi, Macca.
and my favorite friend, number one Morbius fan, Ringo.
Duh.
What's the... I know the Orbis barrier.
Thank you. I
I can't
appreciate
believe
it.
he didn't know about Morbius.
So, what's more horrifying about today's episode? That it's somehow episode 2, but also episode 1? Or the fact that without any actual planning, we've apparently lined up on Xenoblade 1 coming out in the West 10 years ago?
Because we're
really?
built different. It's a skill issue for anyone else. Get fucked,
Yep.
an L.
Because I'm gonna be
L
real with all of
plus
you guys.
no blades plus...
I wanted to do this last month with all of you guys so bad, but like, I was just drowning in things to do. I mean, I'm still drowning in things to do.
Drowning in the cloud sea. Problem, I hear.
Oh, by the way, Spencer, my stream, it still has the cursed, main character Xenoblade 3 on Rex's body.
As it should.
Yeah.
As it should, thank you.
Oh, and Ringo,
I
here you
feel
go.
I feel like we need a name for that person, but no. So I figured since it's been more than a month since our last one, we could just talk about what everybody's been up to. So Alto, you want to go first? What have you been up to since the last episode?
Well, I've just been playing Xenoblade 2. I've been just trying to really get up to speed. I'm gonna tackle Torna eventually, but I introduced my girlfriend to Xenoblade 2, as I said before, and her favorite characters are Akos, Malos, Van Dam. She was sad he died. She really likes the main cast as well, and I'm just happy that I'm able to introduce more people to Xenoblade over time. I think Xenoblade is a really good franchise for this.
What is she playing? Is she playing the Switch one, or what'd you introduce her to?
What I introduced her to was the Xenoblade 2 cutscene gallery. I just went into the I just went to the gallery because we only had 3 days together, so I was like, oh, we can just watch the entirety of the cutscenes.
I can't believe you've just given your girlfriend the as we call it online, the max roommate treatment.
Yeah.
Playing that game seems hard. Let's just watch other.
It's not that it seems hard, it's that we didn't have the time. We only had 3 days together, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this in the best possible way I can, and that is through the cutscene viewer. I did show her some gameplay, and she seemed to like it, at the very least.
Similarly, we're doing it because my roommate does not want to finish playing that game.
You know what we need? We need to have like an April Fool's episode next year where it's just Alto's girlfriend and Mac's roommate describing and reviewing Xenoblade 2.
You know what?
That would be
I will
actually
see if we can do that.
You know what? If he's cool with it, I'll let you know, because that sounds ridiculous.
And if she's cool with it, I'll let you know, because that sounds amazing.
Well, are you playing anything? I mean, I know Xenoblade 2 is kind of just like a life of a game to play, so it'd be kind of hard to fit other stuff in, but have you been touching anything else?
Yeah, I've been recently replaying Stella Glow, slowly chipping away at it. It's my favorite game of all time, and there will be more videos soon on my channel. But another thing that I've recently gotten into was Legends Arceus. That's still been taking up a lot of my time. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, some Fallout New Vegas, Dark Souls. I want Elden Ring, but unfortunately, I do not have the money for that. And obviously, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, which came out just last month, I believe.
But like what, 3 weeks ago now, I think?
No,
Yeah.
not even. Man.
Yeah, it was the 17th. I know because I was really hyped for it, but then I ended up not picking it up because they said no rollback, and I'm just like, well,
No rollback
until
for
they give me
now.
rollback.
You have to wait.
Sounds like a lot of people.
No rollback, no roll buy.
Be fair, they're getting a
Or
rollback at a
what?
later date.
Yeah,
That's
I'm,
true.
you know, that's why I'm saying like I'll wait until rollback.
Mhm.
Plus, by the time
Right.
by the time you wait, it's gonna be like I hope to God they're smart. When they roll that update out, make the game $20. I feel like that'll sell like hotcakes.
Oh,
It probably will.
Matt,
That
what
would
are you
be
playing,
nice.
or what have you been up to?
So, finished Triangle Strategy. I was thinking like, yo, I got the one ending that I got. Now I'm gonna go back and get the best ending. But then I realized Kirby's coming out, so I played Kirby. And then I finished Kirby. I 100%ed it, and I was like, yo, cool. Now Triangle Strategy. And then I was like, oh damn, the Lost Judgment Kaito DLC came out. So I played that.
Bro,
And I
what
100%ed
what
that.
bad timing for that? Like, I feel like nobody talked about that releasing.
I know,
What
I
even is that?
know. But it ended up being really, actually pretty good.
Well, it's crazy because that's that team's first ever actual DLC content. Like,
Oh yeah.
I was amazed from hearing people talk about it. They were like, yeah, they could have just like sold this as like a standalone thing.
I don't know if I fully agree with that, but it
Well, like
is.
I think if it was priced appropriately, like how Rockstar sold Ballad of Gay Tony, like that's not a long
Yes.
game, but like that had a good core at its base.
Mhm. But it's very much. It was good. Not. I wouldn't say it's stellar, but it's good. It's solid. I liked it.
I think 30's
And
a
now
little
there's a
steep
part of
for
me
it.
that's like, damn it, like is now a good time to go back to Triangle Strategy, or should I like what do I do now?
I'm scared to ask. How long did Triangle Strategy take you?
Oh god, like 40 hours my first time through. That's with the cutscenes though. I'd be skipping the cutscenes. The main difficulty would be the fact that on New Game Plus, um the main game level wise only goes up to like level 30 or something. And then when you do New Game Plus, uh it keeps going. The difficulty picks up from where you left off at the end of the game, so it's just perpetually hard. Or it's perpetually
Oh.
challenging. So it's like,
That's
damn.
interesting.
The only
Yeah, so
game I bought last month that I haven't started. Like I literally haven't even like started it on the home screen. I want to jump in so bad.
it's great. It's great. It's great. That's all I can say. Really good
Ringo, what about
story.
you though? What have you been doing? Streaming McStreamer?
I've been doing a lot of things recently, I'll be honest. Mainly just what the games that I've been playing is just Tales of Eternia. Going through that with my brother for the first time. I've seen it. I watched through it a while ago, but I've never actually played it. And we're currently going through the entire series, just over on my channel or whatever. So we're about like 50-60% of the way through that game. And then we're planning on tackling Tales of Symphonia, or I got to figure out maybe if I want to start doing Xenoblade and prep for Xenoblade 3. But other than that, started Kirby, which has been super fun. Occasionally playing Mario Kart and Mario Party in the off time. But other than that, I actually started getting back into drawing and art, which has been really fun.
Oh, nice.
So,
Oh, I have to ask you because you're probably the only one here who's also played it. Have you checked out the new tracks in Mario Kart?
yes, I absolutely like them. Coconut Mall, still 100% a banger.
Oh my god, what a
No one
what
can
a
convince
like
me otherwise.
when I popped that DLC in, I didn't know what really to expect, but I was just like, I know I've just missed Mario Kart really bad, and
Mhm.
like I got such a nostalgia rush like playing through
Oh
that, even though it
yeah,
was like really only for a couple of days.
every now and again I would join in on some of my friends playing Mario Kart, and it's like it's such a fun time every single time that I play it. But like getting to play it more frequently, because me and my family try and play like every weekend or so, um, and it's just been a ton of fun. Honestly, I love it. It's one of those games that I can always just go back and play and smoke people and have a fun time. So
Also, shout out to Mario Kart Tour finally having tracks in a fun game.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be really fast.
I'll
because
still never get it.
Hey, trust me, you will never meet anyone who's like, bro, you gotta play Mario Kart Tour. It's so
Bro.
fun when you pay $20 for Toad, it just hits different. But yeah, like I'll be fast because I feel like my life has just been like I'm bouncing from like game to project to project to game.
Oh, same.
I will say this: if you told me in February, would I have put more hours into Gran Turismo 7 than Triangle Strategy? I would have said no way, Jose. But I feel like every game I picked up in March was just an absolute like smack to the face of like, wow, this was way better than I thought it was. Like I over the course of a week sunk 40. Oh my god, I think it took me as long to platinum Final Fantasy Origin as it did for you to beat Triangle Strategy, because I in about a week I played 42 hours of it.
Good lord.
Like, when I beat that game, I was like at 30 something hours. I was like, this was great. And I was like, I'll do a couple more missions. I did not think I would platinum it. And then I like marathoned over the course of like 2 nights, 10 plus more hours to platinum it. And it was just like, wow, I was not expecting to like unironically fucking like this game as much as I did. Even though like I feel very bad because I need to beat Kirby. I need to start Triangle Strategy. I still need to go back to Elden Ring, Horizon, so many other things. But I think the nice thing has just been like last month felt like a November amount of like big releases, and I can't think of anything that was like bad. Like, was there any like big release last month that people were like, "Yo, that sucked, dude"?
Can't think of anything
No,
off
not
the
that
top
I'm
of my
aware.
head.
Like honestly, because Mac, I know you were pretty trepidatious about it. I don't know if you've heard anyone talk about it, but like Wonderlands came out, and like even the people who hated Borderlands 3 were like, "Yep, this is great. This is all we wanted."
Didn't even hear. Honestly, I didn't even hear about it.
Very.
I knew it came
Me
out, but I
either.
didn't hear people talk about it.
Yeah, that's also my
It just
experience.
seemed
But
like
to
a
be fair,
thing
I'm
that
also
came and went.
apparently living under a rock since I didn't even know about Morbius.
Okay, I'll say Morbius was definitely had more discussion online than the new Borderlands spinoff, so that's an unfair comparison.
Yeah, but that just goes to show just how little I've been paying attention to the entertainment sphere, I suppose.
To be fair, Morbius isn't really worth the amount of attention it got.
Clearly, though, people in
Also
Ringo's
fair.
chat need to just start spamming, what was it, Midbius or Morbius Sweep or whatever, all the stupid, like, meme tags they had for that. But,
What was
like,
even the reason behind the Morbius sweep stuff? Was it just saying like Morbius was gonna sweep?
It was like the Venom 2 thing of let's make fun of a movie that is not gonna be good, so let's all pretend like it's gonna be like the next coming of Christ. Like that's where like they were like photoshopping Martin Scorsese at the premiere.
And then one of the actors fell for it.
Oh my god!
Poor
Tyrese.
guy.
Oh, buddy.
Like I can imagine he wasn't even like, oh wow, like that. Just imagine getting your dreams crushed like that. Like you work hard in something, you put your heart and soul into it.
Oh, he did not put his heart and soul into that role. I can tell you that for sure. I'm just waiting for the Hideo Kojima tweet review of like, cause like I don't know if that picture of him in the empty movie theater was the review, but I hope he does a review one day.
I want to see what he thinks.
But no, the last thing I've been playing and absolutely obsessing over that the thumbnail probably gives away for everybody is I have been ridiculously nostalgic for Lego this last week. So with Lego Star Wars coming out, I was like, man, I really want to play that game. And then a big spoiler to me was that game was incredibly hard to find, like physically. And what was so funny about it is I finally got a copy today and just played through as much of it as I could, and it was like, wow, this is fun. It's taking me back to enjoying Star Wars, like mainline Star Wars, not just like TV show Star Wars, and playing through that, really fun. And then I had the strangest thing happen.
Oh.
I heard a certain voice actor in the game, and I went, that sounds a lot like Shulk.
Oh, I know what you're talking about actually, because that was all over Twitter.
So yes, in case anyone is aware, this is the state of Xenoblade news right now. The largest bit of Xenoblade news since last episode is there is a Xenoblade reference by Shulk's actor in the new Lego Star Wars game. It is very minor, but it is him saying, "I'm really feeling it" at a dance rave, and it is absolutely wholesome and fantastic.
I'm very
That is
glad
phenomenal.
Adam is getting a lot of work. I'm glad he isn't only known for Shulk, but I'm glad that he also remembers where he really started. I don't know if Adam Howard really got... If Xenoblade was really his first big thing.
I would say, yeah, that was like he had done stuff before, but yeah, he had definitely like not done a lot. But I feel like what was weird was I feel like it took the Switch version coming out. No, sorry, not that. I feel like him coming to Smash is what made me
Coming
start
to
seeing
Smash
other
was where
things.
he really
Yeah.
exploded in popularity.
I really
because
think-
like any character getting into Smash just destroys their popularity.
You
And not only that,
Byron.
but-
Destroys in a good, like in a bad way. Like it,
Just
it fucking.
my career's been destroyed.
Not only that, but I
Smash,
think it's the fact that
No!
it's the fact that Shulk went on to be the annoying spam character where you spam "I'm really feeling it" and "This is Monato's power" over and over again. Like
now,
that.
now, Mac and Ringo, have you seen this Easter egg, or are you saying Star Wars?
I heard
Easter
about it.
eggs spoiler
Already
free?
saw it, yeah.
It's a very good Easter egg.
I heard about that there was an Easter egg.
I also,
voice
the very off tangent, I think I discovered a reference to Red Letter Media in it, but
Oh.
I'm not. I need to share it because I think I might be crazy. But is everyone here aware of the Mr. Plinkett reviews?
You're gonna have to refill my memory,
Yeah,
rejog my
please tell me
memory.
you've at least seen Mr. Plinkett's reviews for Star Wars.
I said, uh-huh.
Oh, I did not hear that one at all. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
Mac,
idiot.
back me up on this. I found a guy who is like, sorry, the only note I ever hear from is my dad, who every month tells me how much of a disappointment I am, and I'm like, that's gotta be a callback to Mr. Plinkett, because his whole thing was in every time he reviews something, he would just be like, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace is the most disappointing thing since my son met his wife
Wait,
and ran over a Burger King at the meal hut.
I actually think I know this guy.
Potentially.
It's very vague, but I'm like, I feel like it with how big an Easter egg filled it'd be. Like they have to make some reference to like them, because like they're such a like a defining area, especially like modern like internet Star Wars culture, for better or for worse. But yeah, so I'm glad that Easter egg was there. Are you all aware of the story of how it got added in there? Because I guess one of the devs at TT Games actually explained it on Reddit today.
Oh, well, feel free to explain. This is a Xenoblade podcast, after all.
So basically, the voice director was aware of who the voice actor was, and was like, "Oh, we should add this little line in for like basically they added the line in before they had like really any context of what it was going to do, because he was casted just on like, hey, he's an actor. We need someone British sounding, because everyone in Star Wars apparently either is English or British. So he was casted just kind of like as a random extra, and then somebody put two and two together and was like, oh, let's put a Xenoblade reference in here, because the Lego games have to reference apparently as many things in the world as Gex or whatever, but not in an obnoxious way, not docking Gex any points. So I just thought it was so funny. Of like, it was totally totally happenstance that it happened. I like that it's really kind of out there. Of like, obviously it's gonna blow up and stuff because of something like Twitter, but it's not something that's like thrown in your face. He's not like a main character. It's like you have to go out of your way and like find this random NPC dancing in the corner and talk to him. So I kind of like that it was like a very subdued joke.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
it's
just a
nice.
really cool thing, and if there's one thing I'm very happy with, it's that there's gotta probably be a bunch of people who see that were introduced to Xenoblade through Star Wars now, somehow.
Which then like also shout out to the actor for like, I feel like he's thankfully not one of those people who are like, oh god, I'm really like sick of like being known for like that one role. Like, have you guys ever like seen like, what's funny is one of my favorite videos I remember seeing from his Twitter was he was at I think a CVX or something, and his son was like looking at games he wanted, and like Xenoblade 1 on Switch was discounted. He's like, do you want to play this? And so I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want to play that.
All that.
Isn't his kid like, what, 4 or 5?
He's a baby.
Oh,
He's
baby,
a baby,
okay.
baby.
Oh yeah, that's probably not the thing you would want to show your child then.
I mean, Xenoblade 1's T for teen, right?
A baby
Pretty sure.
though?
Hey man, gotta teach him young.
Really?
Just up until the first major death. Then you can have him wait. You can wait till he gets a little older. Leave him one more.
I think the first major death is very early in the game.
Exactly. So it's like giving him a demo. You're just getting a little bit of a taste.
You're gonna hear your father scream, "I'll kill you."
It could be a bonding time where he gets the right stick, so he can just do the attack buttons, and then the left Joy-Con can be his dad. It'll be a wholesome moment.
Aw.
But no. Also, another thing I was thinking of is like, outside of like even if honestly I can't think of any other games that have really had it like not Nintendo developed games referencing anything Xeno.
I can't think of much actually.
I'm pretty sure there was. Oh god, no! There was something that had a Xenoblade reference in it. I'm blanking on what it was though.
Where were the Xenoblade references in Project Cross Zone 1 and 2? That's the real question.
Project Cross Zone 1 and 2. 1, I'm not certain. 2, Fiora's there.
No, no, she's not. Shut up.
Oh, 13.
Don't ruin the joke.
Okay.
Don't ruin the joke.
All right, I will not ruin the joke.
Don't.
The only reason I know of Project Cross Zone is because Yuri Lowell was in there, and also Estelle, I think.
Yes, she is.
I feel like the big reason I heard a lot of people talk about Project Cross Zone was, one, seemed impossible to come out, and then number two, was them adding Segaton Sashiro. Was like everyone was like, what the hell? Like that's how you knew that they were like able to get away with some crazy stuff.
Actually, isn't Project Cross Zone 2 taken down from the eShop right now?
It might be. I can't imagine that's still up there, but I could look. Cause if
I know
it's on
Project
the
Cross
eShop,
Zone
you can check
1
the Nintendo.
is still up, but...
Yeah, so we need more Xenoblade references, please, because God knows those poor Xenoblade meme accounts can't just keep posting. They can't just keep posting "You're a lifesaver" memes all day.
Or Tora memes, or Rex Bad voice actor memes, or God help us memes.
This might seem really out of date, but I'm honestly having a hard time thinking of one. What's the go-to meme for Xenoblade 2? Because like the only one that comes to mind is because people on my Discord use this one a lot. Is I get Indeed a lot.
Yeah, I'd say Indeed is the go-to meme, just because Malos is that memey.
I'd say the go-to meme is "Don't Forget Me."
Yeah,
I say that was more so towards the game's launch. I feel like a lot of people got into it, especially after Chugga's playthrough, and while they may know of it, it's not really something... I feel like Indeed has overtaken it.
No, I do not see Indeed at all. I see, even now, I still see people say, "Don't forget me."
I see "Don't Forget Me" like once every blue moon, but I see Indeed.
I'm gonna be real.
So
I forgot about "Don't Forget Me" being a meme. It'd been a hot minute. I had
Well,
to
it got removed.
I literally had to look.
Wait,
up,
Project Cross Zone got removed?
No.
It's on the Nintendo
Don't
website.
forget me.
I thought
nerfed
Ringo was
anyway,
saying Project Cross Zone got removed. I was like, wait, that's a random thing to say.
No. Don't Forget Me got nerfed to hell.
If it was still in here, it probably would be the most mean thing in my opinion. But I
Don't forget
really
me.
think I see it all
Don't
that
think
often.
you could take.
All right.
Think you could take me?
Is it? Do you guys think it's
Don't
true
forget me.
I think the only thing I've ever seen memed from Xenoblade X is the music.
I see people ironically meme Tatsu Potato.
Oh yeah. Okay. That one had been a while.
You mean the one where they eat the Napon?
Yes, it's the best joke.
Why is that even?
I really
the
can't
weird
even
one
think
is,
of any Xenoblade X memes. Holy shit.
Yeah, you guys know Xenoblade X was actually the only game that Nintendo didn't localize?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Macca,
It's done by was it 8-4?
Yeah, 8-4, formerly known for doing. They did Tales of Hearts R. They've done. I should probably think of games that people like. I know they did a lot of My Pets games. Oh, they did Metal Gear Rising. They also worked on. I know they've had more
DLC for that game. Sorry.
They've done more than concurrent stuff. They did all the localization for Dragalia Lost, R.I.P. Oh, they did all of the localization for Fire Emblem Gaiden on 3DS, which I heard has a very good localization.
Oh, you mean Echoes?
Yes.
Yeah, it has very good localization. I think it's one of the strongest Fire Emblem games out there.
Oh, why did I not think of this? They did Nier. They did literally all the Nier games except the mobile one. They've done all the localization for Nier and Nier Replicant, Gestalt, and Automata. I don't know how I forgot Nier. Was there? It was like, oh, let's go to My Pets on DS, so people are gonna know them from.
That's what they're known for. Everybody knows that one.
Yeah, Spencer, I can't believe you didn't do that first, man.
Well, you know what I did think of first, outside of dumb Lego stories to bring up in this show? Our main topic, which is good news, everyone. Breath of the Wild 2, which is not the name of the game, is not coming out this year. Which basically leads to this question I have for everyone in chat, as well as all my other co-hosts, which is, now that Breath of the Wild 2 is confirmed to not be releasing this year by Nintendo, is Xenoblade Chronicles 3 set for success and going to be the big holiday title, big parentheses and asterisks? Obviously, that's not Pokemon, because Pokemon's going to just sell on its own. It's going to destroy, and there's enough months separating the two that I'm not really worried of them cannibalizing each other. So I kind of wanted to ask all of you guys of, like, what do you think about the delay first for Breath of the Wild, and then how do you think it's going to affect the overall coverage and then the Nintendo fan attention that can go to Xenoblade 3?
I think, first off, depending on how this development has gone, obviously we knew Monolith Soft was working on Breath of the Wild 2. That much is obvious. They worked on Breath of the Wild 1. In my opinion, I think this is just either have a few more hands on Xenoblade 3 last minute while they polish up Breath of the Wild 2, or this is the most big brain Nintendo move ever, where they're like, okay, Xenoblade 3 is now our big flagship franchise. Because you gotta remember, there's been a lot of attention going towards Xenoblade as of late. Pyra and Mithra's inclusion in Smash, Chugga's playthrough by proxy likely drove up the sales a bit. So, logically speaking, with the Xenoblade 3 announcement, you're getting a lot of eyes on yourself, and I see it as a very viable idea to keep Breath of the Wild 2 out of Xenoblade 3's sort of range. Yeah, Pokemon is there, but as you said, Spencer, I don't think they're going to cannibalize each other. Even then, I don't think that... Actually, no, I can see a lot of Pokemon fans being Xenoblade fans. The fan base is big enough for that, but you get my point. Hopefully.
No, I don't
think there's a fair amount of people that would cross over between just like all of the Nintendo games. Like, obviously, there's still such a huge difference between, you know, a Pokemon, like a 6-year-old liking Pokemon and someone liking Xenoblade or stuff like that. But I still feel like there's a much more than I'd say for any other system. Like, there's a bigger crossover between like a person buying a Switch for all of the Nintendo games rather than specifically just one series, right? So.
No, for sure. I wonder, like, if there was like a little like Venn diagram, how big the like how many. I think it's less of how many Pokemon fans are Xenoblade fans, and I'm more wondering how many Xenoblade fans play Pokemon. Because I almost then wonder how many of them are like the type who are like, oh, that's a baby RPG. Gotta play a man's RPG.
Macca,
well, I
your
would
thoughts? Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I think it remains to be seen whether or not Xenoblade 3 is going to be the big holiday title. I think it remains to be seen what else Nintendo even has this year. I think it's still too early to say. We still have E3. No, we don't.
We don't.
We
Let's
don't.
be real.
Liar.
There will be
You know what I
there will
mean.
be at least one more big Nintendo Direct by the end of the year, though.
Yeah. I think
100%.
whether or not it'll be the big game, I think it'll all just depend. If I had to put money down, I'm gonna be totally honest. I would say I don't think it'll be the big holiday title. Xenoblade is popular, but I don't think it's big enough to be the holiday title.
I have a question for you then. Would you have counted Age of Calamity to be a big fall title for Nintendo when that released?
Fall title, yes. Yes.
Because, I mean, this is literally taking up that exact same September slot.
Yes, but that's Zelda, and it's Breath of the Wild adjacent. Even if it's not, like, Breath of the Wild gameplay standard, the fact that it's Zelda at all is, like, a big thing. I think that's what really separates it from Xenoblade, is the fact that it is still a brand that is, you know, proven to be this kind of thing that they could rely on, even if it is a spin-off. I think it just, I just don't think those are like the same thing, I guess, or rather, I'm willing to give Age of Calamity, like, this probably means more, I guess.
I do think it's funny. You bring up an interesting point that I don't think a lot of people have really talked about this year. I think a lot of people also would agree with this. Outside of Nintendo, I think the big three, unless we get a really big surprise, there's not going to be... I don't think this is going to be a big year for all three of the manufacturers, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. Microsoft, there's a chance we see whatever it is the Coalition is working on, the Gears team. Like, there's a chance that whatever their new game is might be ready this year. We know they have Starfield, but, like, that's not going to really feel as... maybe, like, when we get closer, assuming that, like, doesn't get delayed. And then we have, for, like, Sony's rumored, outside of God of War 2, to have, like, one other big kind of surprise game. But, like, I feel like with Nintendo, they're just such a wild card of quality. Like, 6 months ago, we didn't even know... I mean, we maybe just found out when Kirby and the Forgotten Lands was, like, coming. And, like, I feel like this year, unlike anything, Nintendo has just been so stacked with, like, every month there's been a big exclusive for them. It might not be your cup of tea. Like, this month is Switch Sports. But then, like, I'm expecting we're probably going to get Advance Wars Collection in May. And then we're going to have Fire Emblem in June. Probably something big. Actually, no. We have two big games in June. We have Mario Strikers and Fire Emblem. And then I think there's, Live Alive, and there's probably going to be more also in July, something in August, Xenoblade in September, Pokemon in November. So, like, they've got a lot of big exclusives kind of stacked with them of, like, I think there's a chance Nintendo has something else. Oh, that is true. Stardust Fame. Bayo 3 has got to come out this year. I would be amazed if Bayonetta 3 does not come out this year. That seems
I'm
to me
pretty
like...
confident that's coming out this year, yeah.
That seems like an October game for me. I feel like that's a... Let's blow out the marketing bucks and do October for this one. Especially because this year is not really going to have a lot of big third-party heavy hitters for them to go up against. But there is a weird elephant in the room of, and I don't think a lot of people have talked about this, I think because of Breath of the Wild getting delayed, I feel it in my gut, they've got to do an HD port. There's got to be some HD port they do of Zelda this year. I don't know if it's the 3DS games or the Wii U games, but I feel like there's got to be some title for Zelda this year.
I would say the Wii U games are more likely because that would take less effort.
Very true.
Give me the Oracle games. Come on, I want it. I know
dude,
it's not.
What if
the
Grezzo
Oracle games.
made a trilogy of Oracle games? That would be awesome.
Well, what do you mean by trilogy?
Well, trilogy, I always think of Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and then the final boss that if you have all two completed save files, you can... So
yeah,
I think of like
enough.
putting that experience in one package. I think
that's what I
Grezzo
was
could do a
gonna
great
say.
job with that.
It's like if they were to do an Oracle game, I would really just like it to be like both games in one.
Yeah, like letting you choose which one you want to do, and...
Oh, that'd be so evil if they split that up. That would sell so bad. I know
I would hate
Nintendo
it.
wouldn't do that, though. Nintendo
No, they
wouldn't do that.
would. We both.
I don't know. Like, as much
no,
as I like
'cause, like,
Nintendo, they're pretty bad.
They've realized that they can only get away with that with Pokemon. Because remember how terrible Fire Emblem... Oh, no, Awakening's a good one. Fire Emblem Fates sold terribly by splitting it up.
I thought Fate sold really well.
It sold really well in Japan, but compared to Awakenings, it undersold.
Ah, I see.
Because people were split, trying to buy the special edition was the one that everyone wanted to buy, and no one wanted to buy 3 separate games.
Yeah, no. As someone who got the special edition, I can certainly tell you, it's not worth it to get it as anything else.
As someone with the best version of the game, I don't recommend it. Like honestly,
well, I also
because
don't
remember,
recommend
like,
the game.
wasn't there like that worry when Three Houses like got announced? People being like, I feel like if Nintendo was really greedy, they probably could have tried to sell Three Houses as 3 separate routes.
Oh, they totally could have, and I'm glad they didn't, because that would have been the most... Honestly, based on how Three Houses is structured, it would make sense and probably be better that way, but I'm glad they didn't, because it's still scummy and not as good that way. The only thing that it saves is the gameplay itself, because you don't notice the reuse of maps as often like you do in Fates. But,
oh, very, very true.
But, yeah, it's overall not as worth it.
Ringo, what about you? What are your thoughts on the holiday slot?
I'm just waiting for tomorrow when they announce a new Nintendo Direct, and then the day after when it actually shows up, they'll just be like, "Hey, new Mario."
Ooh.
Coming out
Absolutely.
Tuesday.
They could do it. They could do
Coming
a
out
Mario this
specifically
year.
September, the day after Xenoblade. Go.
Yeah.
I don't know why,
Featuring
Mario
Will
games,
Smith as
Mario
the
games
new
always
Mario.
take so long to come out, but like, I feel like we're really due for one, considering how long it's been since Odyssey.
Well, if
Yeah,
that's
like
the thing,
like an
are they
actual
counting...
some kind of platform, or whether 2D, probably 2D.
No.
want
There is no way the next mainline Mario platformer is not 3D. It's got to be 3D.
Well, are they counting Bowser's
We go
Fury
so
as
long
well?
between 3D games. I don't think the next one would be 3D unless it was an Odyssey 2, and even then, that's not. I don't think that's at this point. I'm not sure if that's even on the. That's really even a possibility. It's been so long.
Even after Bowser's Fury, because I feel like Bowser's Fury was just like wetting us for like, hey, you're gonna get a big new Mario thing soon.
I don't think so.
I actually want like the mix of Odyssey and 3D Land or 3D World that Bowser's Fury was, just as a whole game.
Plus, I feel like Nintendo is still scared of going back to 2D. Like they've not had luck with 2D since literally the new Wii version. Like, to be fair, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe sold well, but that was like, it sold well in the sense of, hey, it's 2D Mario. But like, they haven't had a new 2D Mario that wasn't a re-release launch well.
If they're gonna have,
What about Mario Maker 2? I mean, technically, it
Mario Maker 2
isn't...
sold under expectations. Remember how fast they killed support for that?
Wait, really?
Oh my god, dude, yeah, Mario Maker 1 was getting updates literally until, like, 2 came out. And they killed... Like, remember when you would open up the styles for Mario Maker 2, and it was like, here's all the styles, and then they had the special section just for 3D World, and it looked like there was room for other slots, and they never added anything else. They added Super Mario Bros. 2 style, and that was it. Like, they
didn't even add the style, they just added the power-up.
That's true, yeah. It was a half measure. Like, they...
And then they added the Super Ball from the
Mario
Game Boy,
Maker
which
2,
was
for
great.
whatever reason, I don't... That's got to be like one of the only cases of a game making the Wii U to Switch transition that sold worse.
I think
Mario
it's
Maker
because
1
of the
sold more.
intuitiveness. Like with
True,
Mario, with Mario Maker 1, it's very easy to pick up, play, and just build levels because of the touchscreen and stuff. With 2, the Switch isn't as adept to it.
Ooh.
I'd also say one of the big factors is simply just that, like, there wasn't enough different. Like, they needed to add... they couldn't have just made 3D World the new style. They needed to add in more styles. And even then, like, the fact that you couldn't, like, just flip-flop between 3D World and the other ones for whatever reason was really bizarre. I just didn't feel as...
We're forgetting an elephant in the room that chat reminded me of. I don't know how we even brought this up for 2022. It is 100% possible that Prime 4 comes out this year, too.
Zero chance. Zero chance for me. Zero chance.
I think we'll see it. I don't think it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
But see, my worry is this: if it comes out, when the hell did they release that?
Probably as your holiday game.
No, I feel like honestly, I say it's either really done, and that's like a July-August game for them, or it's really gonna be close to the wire, and that's their December game.
Mm.
When was
Dread
development restarted?
development restarted. Let's see. I think it was announced. Oh my god. Let's see.
It was announced in January, like 2019.
I thought it was 2018.
I'm pretty sure it was 2019.
Let me check.
Regardless, it was January. I'm confident. in
It
that.
was right. Oh, yep, early 2019.
As
You're
of
correct.
October 21st of last year, it was 1,000 days since development restarted.
I don't like that
So.
it was 2019. I feel like I feel like it should have been longer. Because in my heart, time is a flat circle.
Well,
Although to be fair,
I'm gonna
that's
ask,
almost 4 years of development.
and I'm gonna ask Spencer, because you are really in tune with this sort of development stuff. How off do you think their announcement that they were restarting development was from them restarting development?
It was because from everything I had been told, they had been not happy with Namco Bandai's work on Metroid for a while, and had been asking Retro for help, and then eventually they just gave it all to them. So it's not like they started it in January. Like, they had been working on it for a little bit, but that was mostly due to Retro's last title being so... One day we'll get the story on what happened to their canned game, because I don't know if you guys remember, the rumor forever was they were doing that Star Fox racing game, Star Fox Grand Prix.
Oh, I think I've heard
I
about
think-
that once or twice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so like the rumor was they were doing a Star Fox racing game after Tropical Freeze. That shit the bed. They had to do a port after that got canned, and that's why they ported Tropical Freeze to Switch, which actually sold really, really well. RIP Funky Mode. And they pretty much have been picking up the paces for 4, but then you think about they've still been hiring for it. Still haven't seen it. My gut tells me there's no way Nintendo shows Prime 4 until it's got a release date, because they cannot show that game after all this time. It's literally like the only Switch game that's been this long in development. Because like it's the only one that's even closer to is Bayo 3, and Bayo 3's not even been announced as long as Prime 4.
I'd say, wasn't Breath of the Wild also just in development hell for a while? It took like 5
Well,
years.
Breath of the Wild was less development hell and was more let's nail the engine.
Yeah.
Like I would say it was a more an evolving state. I gotta say this, Mac. Mac, when are we getting the Platinum documentary or interview where they're like, let's explain what the fuck went wrong with Bayo 3? Clearly something went wrong. There's no way this game has been in perfect development for this many years, right?
Yeah, I think something might have gone on. I don't think it's necessarily something went wrong. I think it's possible that something did happen, but it might not necessarily been something went wrong.
You know what I think it was? I bet it was people leaving. Because, like, all the people who really made Bayo 2 special, I think outside of the director, and the director's not even returning this time, or at least as the director. I know the director's not the director. I think he's a producer. Bayonetta 2's combat designer, do you guys know where they went?
Where?
I'm gonna pull this up. If I am not fucking mistaken, I think they're working on that new dinosaur game from that Capcom announced. I shit you not.
Oh. Hmm.
I know that the combat director left. But yeah, so I think, like, would you all say it's safe to say that, even if this isn't, like, the big Nintendo, like, slam dunk seller this year, I mean, I think we can all agree it's going to be Pokemon. Like, assuming they don't, like, I'm giving them a lot of good faith after Legends. Like, I think if they even are remotely half as adventurous as they were with Legends, I think Scarlet and Violet are going to absolutely destroy in sales this year. But I also think it's one of those things of, like, every other exclusive they've done this year has sold tremendously well. Like, even Kirby, like, I don't know, have you guys, like, seen the sales numbers for Kirby so far?
I have not
Yes.
seen the sales numbers, actually.
It is the fastest and highest selling
Oh.
Kirby game in every country.
Oh, well, that's surprising. But it's also
It's not
good
the
to hear Kirby's
most
doing
sold
well.
yet, though. Unfortunately, that title goes to Star Allies, but that's probably more of a matter of time. I think that Star Allies did not have a very good reception, whereas I think everyone loves this new one, and that will take a lot. It'll eventually sell better.
Well, you have to also remember, they were pulling all the punches. They went 3D, so I would assume that something like this would be special. It's Kirby's first real 3D game.
That is true. Sorry,
Yep.
sorry, N64 Kirby fans. I know that one hurts.
There's
It's a
God, there was
2.5D.
I just had something on I just had something on my mind I wanted to say, but I'm blanking on it now.
Do you know what
Crap.
it was related to?
Nintendo probably.
No, well, okay, so before Kirby, what did we talk about?
Bayo.
Pokemon.
Pokemon, got it. I remember. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. A lot of people looked at Scarlet and Violet, and they saw like, they saw in the press release it was like open world. That means they're learning. They're already taking from Arceus, and it's gonna like, it's gonna play like Arceus. That's not what that said. I'm gonna be told. I think Pokemon is actually gonna be a much more standard traditional Pokemon game.
Don't Sword and
And
Shield
I
me,
think
Mac.
they're going. I think them going open world is missing what people actually really like about Arceus, which is the overhauled mechanics in conjunction with the open world. Like
Yeah.
from everything I've heard,
Just don't be like
everyone
Sword and
likes
Shield,
the game
please.
because of the mechanics and how they changed up the mechanics, not because it's open world. Quote unquote.
I do want to point something out too. Based on development cycle, Sword and Shield was developed mainly by the newer generation at Game Freak. It was their first foray, and Legends was developed alongside it, I believe. After Sword and Shield was complete, they were already planning Legends and Scarlet and Violet. So, it's very likely that the two were developed side by side. I would not be surprised if the newer generation that is 100% working on that game, I don't see them working on anything else at the moment. If they're doing that, and they've been working side by side with how Arceus was developed, I can see them taking inspiration, and already I think we've seen some good come from it, with the Hisuian Mons appearing in Scarlet and Violet through screenshots, as we've seen.
I do have another correction. Thank you, J. Arthur. I was wrong. They are the combat designer from Bayo 2 is at Capcom now. They're not working on the Dino game. They are working on Wide Street Fighter 6.
Oh.
Oh, interesting.
Either way, still a very
that was
weird
it.
move.
Yeah,
Well,
they were working
that
on
is something.
SF6. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't see this one copying it mechanically. I think it's gonna be more of a traditional. It's gonna play way more like a traditional Pokemon game, just open world. And I think
come the end of this year, will more people want to vote for Legends or Scarlet and Violet as their better Pokemon game of the year?
I'm gonna say Legends.
Wow. Okay.
Legends
I
overall
hope- I
was
hope-
a strong game.
Yeah. I'm very interested either way because I feel like this is just one of those. This is just one of those weirdly stacked years. Even if it's just on one kind of platform of like, hey man, if you like, I feel like specifically we're really being catered to this year of like, hey, if you like niche RPGs and have a Switch, you're gonna be eating real good today.
I really have to say, so far, like, with the way that Sword and Shield burned me, because I hated that game. I dropped it even before I got to the third gym, because I couldn't handle it. I really enjoyed Arceus. I need to put more time into it. I just haven't for whatever reason.
Too many games, man.
I really have to see something impressive from Scarlet Violet. Otherwise, I am not picking it up.
So, this is
Yeah,
something I really do want to point out. The people who developed Sword and Shield, a lot of people say Sword and Shield's strongest aspect was the characters, was the overall way they were involved in the plot, and a big part of that is because the people who developed this Sword and Shield story and such, they largely did grow up with Black and White, and Gen 4 as well, and those are the most story-based games. I really do think that with this, they're going to try again with the story, but a big concern I have is a lot of the people that played those games don't know why the story was so good in Gen 4 and Gen 5. And I feel like with Legends, it's really proven that the older Game Freak staff know what they're doing more so than the newer generation with Sword and Shield. And I hope that they've really learned from Sword and Shield, because I love Sword and Shield's story. In my personal opinion, Sun and Moon, or well, more so the Ultra games, are the worst games to come out of the franchise, and Sword and Shield definitely had a passion that I enjoyed playing through. But they need to do something that sets Gen... I believe we're on Gen 9?
Oh, jeez, dude. I don't even know that answer.
It
I was
is...
going to ask, because I remember I saw something interesting. I didn't believe it when I saw it, but I thought this was so weird. There was, like, some people, when, like, the ramp up to the new gen people were talking about it, was like, oh, yeah, like, the best 3DS Pokemon was Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, because it was, like... And I was like, I know almost no one who played that game, because that was in a post-Switch world, so I feel like you really had to be fucking hardcore, like, into Pokemon to be playing Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, because I just... Nobody wanted to be playing that in 2017. Like, everyone wanted
I'm going to say this. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon would not be nearly as bad if Sun and Moon did not release. I think, overall, you either have one or the other. If you played Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon first, you're going to enjoy it far more than Sun and Moon. If you played Sun and Moon first, you're going to enjoy it far more than Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Overall, they are the most polarizing games, in my opinion, and overall, I only like Sun and Moon. I'm not that big of a fan of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but I also did not like Oras, which is, in my opinion, one of the worst remakes to ever grace Pokemon.
Man, 3DS was such a polarizing system for Pokemon. Of, like, it was like I either loved them or ignored them like an unwanted child. Like, it was like, man, I love Sun and Moon, or like, man, I loved X and Y. It was fun for, like, when I played it, but then they were just like, no, I'm good. I don't need to play this. I don't need to play that. I'm cool ignoring you.
I don't
Which,
like X and Y.
Well, remember, I'm not committing to it. Of, like, I remember for a baby's first being a 3DS RPG, I was like, it's good. Like, it had some cute stuff to it. It wasn't like there wasn't any, like, beef hanging over it, like, whereas, like, Sword and Shield probably still has beef hanging over it.
Oh, hey, Rico, what's up?
I had a lot of, at the very least, from what I remember, X and Y was getting a lot of beef when it was around its launch. But
I mean, outside of the story was Garbo, because the last game I played before X and Y was Black and White. So to go from the story of Black and White to X and Y, I was like, this is garbage.
This is also something I do want to point out. Technically, Black and White 2 launched during the 3DS generation.
That's
yeah,
true.
I remember.
I mean, that was one of those things where, like, that was another one of, like, nobody wanted Black and White 2. Like, Black and White 2 is just one of, like, I just couldn't allow myself to want to play.
I'm going to say this right now, Black and White 2 is the best game in the series, in my opinion.
I would believe it more than anyone who says Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but it was just one of those things of, like, it was, like, I would have had to have gotten a free copy to play it. I was just no interest at all.
And that's sad, because it is honestly one of the most underrated games out there for people who haven't played it, where I'm like, why didn't you play Black and White 2? And like, I already played Black and White 1. It's the whole third version effect.
It was a terrible name. They shouldn't have split the third version into 2. And
no, it's not a third version, it's an actual sequel.
I know, but, like, the re-release, they shouldn't have split the re-release into 2.
It's not even a re-release. They change up the world, and there's a lot of things.
But it's like
different
there's a lot of copy and paste. Like, they should not have split that.
There
into
is
2,
some copy and paste, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that make it different.
But, like, let's look at the Pokemon Legends things by comparison. If they split Pokemon Legends, which they could have done, they could have easily split the world in Pokemon Legends. Like, they know, like, there's a right and a wrong time when to, like, split the releases. And the one thing I will say that I know you can't argue against, the worst design male protagonist of all Pokemon history. The absolute worst design.
It's not that bad, actually.
His
there
hair
are worse
is
designs.
an absolute joke.
If you look at Lucas from Diamond and Pearl and think that is a good design, I am sorry, Spencer.
I'm gonna look it up now. I'm gonna, like, burn my retinas. Well, guys,
I like Lucas. I agree. That I agree the hair is silly, but I
What?
still like the
I
design.
I like his
I
design.
think
This is a classic design.
It is
I think-
so basic.
I
Okay,
think
let's be
the
real. If you
worst
think that's
trainer
basic, like,
designs.
But
the
man,
new ones,
I
the
think
new
the worst
Pokemon
trainer
are gonna be basic.
designs are the new ones in Scarlet and Violet.
actually,
I
yeah,
hate
those are
designs.
pretty.
I'm giving Scarlet and Violet. I'm giving Scarlet and Violet, and God, we gotta get the fuck off Pokemon for this. But I'm gonna give Scarlet and Violet
Xenoblade.
the rumor, and this would make a lot of sense, especially after all the new features in Legends. The rumor is they are so basic because you can customize everything.
Okay, that is
Uh,
interesting.
that sounds
but
like- That sounds like
Hold on.
people try to come up with a
I mean,
justification.
I'll be honest,
yeah,
I literally
it's
just took a
all-
look at Sorry, I literally just took a look because I didn't even know they revealed the Scarlet Violet trainers.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
saw a lot of. Okay, so I saw a lot of Spain
Not a
fans,
fan.
Spanish fans, Spain fans, defending Scarlet and Violet's design, like, oh, that is what we grew up with, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry you grew up with those hideous outfits. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Who's gonna give Spain drip?
It's
Well,
like,
hey, speak-
okay, I assume this is like some weird school uniform thing. Why don't you wear like casual clothing?
Yeah,
And if
because I saw one person justify it by like, oh, well, it's gender neutral, so like it's progressive. It's like, yeah, it may be progressive, but it's fucking hideous. You can have gender neutral clothes and still look good. I'm sorry.
I'm still gonna give it the benefit of the doubt of we haven't seen any of it in any real context, and I think all of those complaints could immediately be alleviated with it's immediately just gonna throw you in a character customizer.
I
And
honestly
that is
hope
entirely
so.
true. That is entirely true. This is just based off
Sure,
purely off
but-
of first impressions.
Yeah, off
But
first
you
impressions,
still-
those are the worst trainer designs in general of the series.
Like just in general, like even if even if you can immediately change this character, right? Something like Sword and Shield's main characters, they were really good. Sun and Moon's I really liked. I don't know about Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I forget what they were like. But like Black and White were really good. You know, even if you are just immediately going to customize these characters, like the base designs of these ones are far less appealing to me than I'd say any of the other customizable trainers by a landslide. But
Who's ready for our next topic, Poke fans?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the
Welcome back to the
Pokemon
Pokemon
Podcast
Podcast.
episode 0. I'm Conductor Alto, that's
Literally
Macca,
what-
that's SMT Network, and that's Ringo.
wow, it's the Pokemon Network news there.
Dude, what do you think Pokemon podcasts are like? Like, I bet like Pokemon is like you could have a whole Pokemon podcast that's just like you just talk about the games, you just talk about the shows or the TCG. Like, I can't think of like. Do you think there's any one Pokemon podcast that they just talk about everything? Because there's so much to talk about.
Probably.
There's gotta be like a very generic one.
Yeah.
What do you
Where
think the
it's
number
just
What
a
is
one-
your favorite
Everyone out there,
Pokemon
let us know in
plush?
the comments. What's the number one? Oh my God, who's ready for some of these names? No, the first one that comes up, it's super effective, or the Trash Blanche. A
Oh
wild
my
podcast
goodness.
appears. Shadowless podcast, a Pokemon podcast. PUCL, a Pokemon podcast. The Play Pokemon podcast. Special Conditions, a Pokemon podcast. Victory Road, a Pokemon podcast. These are all real fucking names, by the way. EXP Share, the Pokemon podcast. Pokemon
Always
Roll-
on. They never stop playing.
Oh my God, there's one that's just about Pokemon Go. Oh no, there's multiple just about Pokemon. There are so many Pokemon dedicated. Oh my
Oh.
God. It's
Oh.
literally like, it just keeps letting
Oh,
me scroll.
dear. Oh no.
Jesus. I mean, I get it. Pokemon's fucking massive, but it's just like, it's just one of those things I just
Hilarious.
did never think about. But,
It's
wow.
hilarious.
It is utterly insane. Okay, Spencer, you know what we're gonna do? Next month, me and you, we're gonna make the Pokemon Network podcast. We're gonna put some good podcasting in this.
Why is there no
Alright,
Digimon
I'll show
podcast?
up as a guest just so that I can like show you guys that Mareep is in fact the best sheep, and no one
and I mean no one can disagree.
All right, fair enough.
We'll have a Pokemon podcast on this channel so we can celebrate the anniversary of Pokemon Conquest, the most under discussed.
Actually, I have Conquest in my 3DS right now.
What?
I could totally on the anniversary of Conquest. If you want to plan that, I will be there.
You guys remember who developed Pokemon Conquest? Mac, you got an
Code
answer for
Tecmo.
me?
Yeah.
Well,
I
speaking of
love
people who
Pokemon
make
Conquest. That
things,
shit was so good.
Xenoblade.
you know what was made 10 years ago today?
Xenoblade 1, I think.
Who here actually played Xenoblade when it released on the Wii in April? 10
Not
years
me.
ago. Not I.
Nope.
I watched Chugga's playthrough of it.
That's
Yeah,
how
that's
I
a
got
let's-
into it.
That's a let's play.
And then I
Max,
also met Macca
so you
through
were the
it.
only one?
Yep.
Regale us. Tell us what were we, 12 back then? Little 12-year-old Mackie. What was he doing 10 years ago?
What?
I was a little bit older than 12. I was.
I would
13.
hope you.
No.
Wait,
Well,
what?
and a quarter.
I was 15.
All right, so you're only 3 years older than me.
Yes. No.
That's how.
I was 15, and I remember, at least for me, a lot of it was very like. I think I mentioned this on the last one where I was
we talked about how we got into the series in the last one.
yeah, where like initially when I first got it, I was more so like following Project Rainfall because I wanted a last story, and then Xenoblade came out, and I was like, I want to support, like, if I show support for Xenoblade, that could hopefully mean the other ones get brought over. So I picked up Xenoblade and I played it and I really enjoyed it, but then eventually I just I fell off, and then at some point later on I came back and I just fell in love with it.
I'm once again just gonna give myself a big old slap on the casual, but I still love. I've never even. I don't even think I've actually touched Xenoblade 1 ever running on anything. The only thing I've ever played it on was Switch and 3DS, which, again, hilariously, this is all perfectly timed. On April 10th, 4 days from now, 7 years ago, Xenoblade 3D came out, which, like, I almost wonder if that was, like, if that was purposeful? Because, like, that was more of a worldwide release, but that's almost, like, then tied to, like, just the Western one, because the West got it, like, so horrendously late, but, it is so funny. I'm like, do you three, like, feel like Xenoblade has come far in the last 10 years in the West?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, tremendously, and I think a big part of that is because of Smash. Like,
Smash is definitely, I would say, is the two biggest things to really push it forward, not counting it getting released here at all, because that's very much like, oh, that's the reason why.
that's the baseline.
I would say number one is Smash, Shulkin Smash, and then number two is Xenoblade 2, just releasing when it did,
Yeah,
being an
that's what I
early
was gonna say.
major RPG on the Switch. Like, no, I think those are the two most important things in terms of making Xenoblade as popular as it's gotten.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, it's just like, Smash put it on the radar, and then the fact that it was the biggest and almost only good, not good, but AAA RPG. I didn't mean good in that, like,
I know what you
games.
meant. I know what you meant. There wasn't a lot of competition.
There wasn't a lot of competition. I like Xenoblade 2, and there were other good RPGs at the time, but it was the first, like, AAA JRPG on the Switch, especially in its first year. Like,
Honestly, like, were there any big RPGs on the Switch on 2017? I can't think of any.
I can't think of any that weren't like an indie game.
Yeah.
I could imagine there's some indie games or some smaller games, but I can't think of any like anything on this same size. That wasn't like
Skyrim. Forgetting Golf Story. Golf Story revolutionized the Switch.
East 7. I remember that.
E7 was not 2017
Or
though.
East 8, sorry.
Neither was that. I think that was like
No, it was.
2018 or 2019. Ease 8 was 2017? No way, Jose. I'm gonna doubt you big
I'm just looking at it. It was August 30th.
August 30th, 2017 in America?
No, September 12th. Sorry.
Oh man.
Unless
I'll say
this
this, though.
website is lying to me. It could be lying.
Shout out though to Ease 8. Just got announced as getting a port on PS5. Not in a million years would I have thought Ease would be this game that gets ported to every fucking system.
I feel like
So
I've been hearing about this game for years, and I'm just
so
like,
good. So good.
I'm just like, damn. I repeat, it's like every 3 years I find out this game is coming to something.
Oh my god, Ringo, I know what release date you were looking at. You were looking at the release date of the PS4 and Vita version.
my bad.
That's why I was like, that doesn't
Ringo?
make sense.
My
Ringo,
bad.
bad Ringo. Go to your
No,
corner, Ringo. Go
Just,
to your
By the way,
corner.
they lied to me.
Shout out
They
though,
lied to
Ease
me.
8. Ease 8 was a Vita exclusive at launch, which is funny that a Vita exclusive has now been ported this many times now on PC, Switch, and is now going to be on PS5.
Man, really makes you wish that other Vita games got that treatment, you know?
Man, it really
fuck
makes me
you,
wish.
Uncharted Golden Abyss, come to other systems, you old
Yeah.
bastard.
Also, Persona 3 Portable.
Well, that's a PSP.
Well, still, it deserves...
Gravity Rush.
Gravity Rush
Gravity-
is on PS4. They
Yeah, but
remastered it.
bring it to PC.
I would have moved that.
That
Yeah,
would be a
PC.
cool one, but like they still got to get their big. They got to get their big. boys to
Bring the
PC.
Persona
If they, Mac, if they
games
went from
PC.
this, they went. Here's the PlayStation PC trajectory: Horizon Zero Dawn, Days
All
Gone,
right.
God of War, Gravity Rush remastered.
Don't just do Gravity Rush 1 and 2, please. Bundle them. Put them on.
Yeah, if they were gonna do anything, they would do. They would do.
Put them on.
But,
Put them on Steam, please.
I gotta say
That'd be
though,
nice.
I think it's really interesting. I may be really ignorant to this. I never really thought of Shulk being in Smash was like this is why the series is continuing at the rate it is. Because like for me, and this is how my headcanon has been for it with Xenoblade. 1 was a surprise success, but was a slow success. 3DS helped a lot, and the fact that it was also leading into X. I think the only reason X really happened was because Monolith had a lot of goodwill at Nintendo, and even though that game didn't perform very well, it was one of those things of, hey, you guys can really push our hardware in ways other devs can't. And they gave, because like I don't think Shulk being in Smash is what led to Xenoblade 2. I think Nintendo was savvy enough to give them a chance, and they wanted something big. Like they were like, hey, you were one of our best devs on Wii U, even though your game wasn't a hit. So we want you to be there with the Switch at launch. So then it kind of makes me
I
wonder.
remember. Sorry, I remember X on Wii U, even though it was like a huge hit, it was still like it sold well for a Wii U game.
Yeah, it wasn't bad by any standards, but I kind of think of 2 exists because Monolith was so good to Nintendo for so long, and then 3 exists because 2 sold way above expectations. I think Shulk and the other representation with like Pyra and Mithra, I think that definitely helps. But I
do not think it's the main thing.
I think as soon as Xenoblade 2 sold over 1 million in a month, I think that's when I was like, yeah, this is a series that Nintendo's going to keep going.
But what I mean, what we're talking about specifically with Smash isn't so much. This is where it became like this big thing. That is important for it becoming what it is. I think Xenoblade as a series didn't really become what it is until 2, but I don't think it would have gotten that with 2's release if not for the fact that Shulk was in Smash and people became aware of him and by extension the series.
Well, I got a
Like,
question for you.
I'll just tell you straight up, like my personal experience with the series is simply like more or less kind of not necessarily like I didn't learn of the series because of Smash because I was watching Chuck Connor's playthrough beforehand. That's kind of also by extension how I met Mac, but more or less like I can recount to my friend group, they did not know anything about Xenoblade up until he got into Smash, and then from there, we checked out X and we loved that. And then it was just like, bam, like for me, it was like all of a sudden when Xenoblade 2 was announced, I saw just like, oh, everybody likes this now? I remember people not even knowing what the hell it was until, Shulk was Smash. Because like, I didn't know about Xenoblade really until Shulk got basically announced in Smash.
I have a counter argument.
So.
I want to throw out to you guys. I'm curious what you think about this. always thought if the state of the world was as is, let's say if Xenoblade 2 sold like X or even worse, it landed at a weird time because there was a worry originally that who's going to buy it in December? If it's after the holiday rush, who's going to buy that game? And I remember like thinking of like I think the only reason Pyra and Mithra are in Smash at all is because of how well 2 sold. Like
I agree. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I do think we will be getting Xenoblade 3 no matter what. I think we just would have gotten it a lot later, because remember, they had Xenoblade 3 planned out from the start. The moment they started 2, they had Xenoblade 3 planned out from interviews that we've seen. So I think we still would have gotten it. It just would have been a lot later. Plus, you have to remember, Monolith, again, very close studio with Nintendo. They are the reason Breath of the Wild is as good as it is. They helped work on Legends. They helped work on what I imagine is a lot of other open world games for Nintendo. So, 100%, I think they would have gotten Xenoblade 3 eventually. It's just we got it sooner rather than later because Xenoblade 2 sold so well.
It is a weird one because I think Fire Emblem is so more black and white with the Smash to sales ratio of like there's no way in hell we were ever going to get Fire Emblem on GBA without Melee resonating as much as it did. I think we would have gotten the series eventually, but like Nintendo is definitely not shy to keep series fucking stuck in Japan for no reason at all. Like I'm looking at oh god, speaking of Koei Tecmo, I forget the name of it, but there's a Koei Tecmo developed Switch exclusive that came in a couple months ago that I always forget about. That it's like got revealed at a Japanese Direct and still it had no plans for localizing at all, and it looks really, really, really good.
An Otome game? Otome's Muso?
No, it's not an Otome one. I'll look it up. It's not a Warriors game. It's like a adventure novel like kind of game. But no, so yeah, it is one of those weird ones of like Xenoblade. It is interesting. I think all the extra uses of it with Smash has definitely helped a lot. Like I know a lot of people who have picked up Xenoblade just because I like Shulk or I like Pyra and Mithra or stuff like that. Whereas I think it just had a much more almost like natural, I guess, trajectory because I think it also had that mystique. Like Fire Emblem took many years for it to be popular, but it was never one of those things where like people weren't asking why does Fire Emblem keep getting made, even though it almost got shut down, you know? Whereas, like, we look at situations like with Xenoblade, where I think because they're so much grander in scope in a lot of ways, and everything else, like, it's just such a different thing of, like, I think Nintendo was almost kind of, like, farming out, or at least, like, kind of, like, pooping out Fire Emblem games of varying quality, for sure. But it was one of those interesting things of, like, Monolith, maybe just because of how big or how grand all those games are, it's kind of interesting, whereas, like, people didn't really care about Fire Emblem in a sales way until Awakening. Whereas, I think Xenoblade has just always had that goodwill. We had Operation Rainfall. We had people who were really excited and wanted to support X. 2, people were just there in droves, whether it be because of Switch, RPG love, or whatever. And now with 3, I think it's just that culmination of like, this is just a series that hasn't really had a miss. And its biggest miss, if anything, was just it launched on a bad platform. Like, unless like there's some black eye for the Xenoblade series that I'm forgetting, like they've not really had a stumble. Would anyone say?
Xeno as a whole, I'd say
yeah.
it's Saga. It's Saga 2. But if you just count Xenoblade as a whole is the experience from Gears and Saga wrapped into a new franchise. So it's very easy to see why they haven't stumbled. They have that experience, they know what they're doing, and it's very hard to make a misstep when you know all the pitfalls you've fallen into.
By the way, in case anyone was curious, the game I was not remembering was called Buddy Mission Bond. I highly, highly recommend people check it out if you want to be sad. It's really, really pretty. It's really, really stylized. It is a Switch exclusive Nintendo published game that if you like old school adventure style stuff like that, it's really, really good. And the art is awesome. It, like, actually, the art reminds me a lot of, like, the kind of overly cartooned, like, stuff. Like, if you ever, like, saw, like, the SD Snatcher art like that, it's got very, like, 90s adventure vibes.
That's what'd you
Taking a
say the
look at it
title
now,
was
it
again?
actually looks pretty good.
Buddy Mission Bond.
Okay, that title, completely unrelated. That title reminds me of you guys know Pluto TV and like how certain smart TVs will come with like Pluto or like other like free television channels
Right.
with a bunch of weird stuff on it.
Oh, yeah.
So on my TV, they have, I like to call it gimped TV because it's TV, but it's gimped. It's been shot in the leg. There's a bunch of like children's channels that have like a variety of weird shows. Some of which is like, oh, this is for small children, but also here's a cartoon here's like Sabrina the animated series, or Sat AM or Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. And then every once in a while there's this one show with the stupidest name I think I've ever heard. It is an anime called Supercard Buddy Fight.
I've heard of that.
It is hilarious. I've watched a few episodes just randomly,
Dude,
and the fact that
that's
it's
a
just
real
a
TCG,
Pokemon
you know.
Yu-Gi-Oh ripoff, but they call them buddies, and it's really funny.
Dude, that's a real TCG that they, like, sell in stores, like, in America, for real.
I know, and it's like, what is this? Why are they called buddies? They're called buddies. Like, I'm so glad that you've been. I'm honored to have been your buddy for this battle.
That's amazing.
It's really funny. It's really funny. GIMP TV is the best. My favorite is when it's a children's channel or something, and they play Sonic, and then the next show they play is in Korean with no subtitles.
Kids get fucked.
It's just in another language. They didn't care.
Free TV is free, man.
I know, it's great.
Shout out to Jagingus. I forgot, one of the reasons the art looks so good is by the mangaka for One Punch Man.
Oh, that's actually wait. Oh, Macca. Yeah.
Yusuke
makes
Miyata
sense.
is his name?
Listen, I'm throwing it as it comes. Jesus, Mac, why did I now just see your Morbius message?
I just saw that too. I didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to say anything because we were on topic. But Mac, what the hell?
Morbius is fantastic. Thank you. Even though I'm the only one here who will probably ever see it.
I mean, I saw the post-credits scene. If that makes things any better.
No, although that is one of the most confusing things of 2022. Stardust Phantom brings up a great things to bring up. Well, first about Smash. Smash started a snowball, but launch sales on the Switch and the goodwill Monolith gained was the reason why Xenoblade is still a thing. And also important is if Xenoblade was made by any other Nintendo studio, it would not have gained as much traction. That is 100% true. Like, I don't think I would trust any other developer besides Monolith to put that game out without being very skeptical or very nervous.
Agreed.
Oh my god. You know what would be fucked up, dude? Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the exact same announcement trailer, but it's like that One Piece game where at the very end it just says, developed by Ilka. Like, no!
It's developed by random logo for some developer we've never heard, like no one has ever heard of.
Developed
from the
by
makers of the brilliant,
Billy
from
Mays.
the makers of the Diamond and Pearl remake on Switch.
To be fair, the Diamond Pearl
Chronicles
remakes
3.
are not that bad.
Not that bad, but also will go down in history as the least exciting Switch Pokemon game of all time.
Yeah, I can believe that. Though I would play it over ORAS any day of the week.
That's true. But yeah,
It's back to Pokemon podcast, baby. Let's
More
go.
Pokemon.
I blame Spencer for
Fun
this.
fact of the day:
Does
Pikachu
anyone
is Pokemon.
Does anyone else
Pikachu.
have
I don't
anything else
believe
they
it.
wanna say,
Pikachu's a
Yellow
Pokemon.
Rat.
Anniversary or series longevity, or hey, just give a shout out to the 3DS version at all.
What
I
did you
was
say,
just
Spencer? We were
surprised
talking
to
over
get
you
the
over
entirety of
Pokemon
the video game
podcast.
on.
Shout out
Sorry.
to whoever can remember who developed Xenoblade Chronicles 3. No cheating. Who developed Xenoblade Chronicles 3DS?
Wasn't it
not Monolith.
Behemoth?
Nope.
Fuck, what was that developer?
You do you mean like the Castle Crasher devs?
No, I blanked on the name. It's something. I think it starts with a B.
You are close. It is a B. Anyone else?
God,
Bethesda.
didn't they also do the Twilight Princess HD?
Hold on. Say it again, Mac.
Didn't they also do Twilight Princess HD?
No, that was Virtua Studio.
No, I'm blanking.
Give me a
Ringo
moment.
or Alto, got any guesses?
Give me a moment. I am totally not cheating by looking it up on Google.
It was
just
one of
looking
those funny
inside my
things.
brain.
It was one of those funny things. By the way, sorry, Mac, I actually lied to you. It was Monster Games. I don't know why I was thinking. I think I was thinking of one of the things they had made. But Monster Games was. I'm looking up their. I'm looking up the stuff they've done. I'm thinking they're the devs who did. Yep, they were the Excitebot devs. That's why I always remember them because they did Excite Cars and Excitebot. So here's what they had done. Oh, they also had worked on Tropical Freeze with Retro. So they had ported Donkey Kong Country they had ported Donkey Kong Country 3D, the Donkey Kong Country Returns that Wii game, the 3DS port, which is actually a pretty solid port. I feel like people don't talk about that very much. They also did Pilot Wings Resort, Excite Bike, Excite Bots, Excite Truck. And if you want to get really depressed, this is all they have done since Xenoblade 3D. NASCAR Heat, NASCAR Heat 2, NASCAR Heat 3, NASCAR Heat 4, Tony Stewart Sprint Car Racing, Tony Stewart All-Star Racing, SRX the game.
Who?
The developers of the 3DS version of Xenoblade 1. Monster Games has done
Tony
nothing but
who?
NASCAR games. Oh, Tony Stewart's Sprint Car Racing and Tony Stewart's All-Star Racing.
Who is that?
Tony Stewart, let's look this up. Tony Stewart is a race car driver. That's all it's giving me. He doesn't even have his own Wikipedia page. Not a good sign.
Alright, guys, it's the Tony Stewart podcast.
Now that I know
Welcome
there's
to
not
Tony
a lot of
Stewart
competition for.
Network.
It's the Tony Stewart talk show. We gotta
Yeah.
keep that alliteration going.
I'm gonna say this right now. If you gave me a week, I could get an interview with Tony Stewart.
Really?
He does not seem
Did you
that
guys
high.
know Tony Stewart's nickname is Smoke?
I was just about to say that. It's the first thing it tells you. Tony Stewart goes by the nickname Smoke. He's an American semi-retired professional stock car racer, current NASCAR team co-owner, Stewart Haas Racing, and current owner of Superstar Racing Experience. He's a 3-star time NASCAR Cup Series champion as a driver, winning titles from 2002, 2005, and 2011. And as a team owner, he fucking ruined Monster.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
what?
Oh my god.
Is
Guys.
that actually what it says?
No, but we
Oh.
could make it say that.
Guys,
We could
guys.
make it-
I'm on the Wikipedia page. He has a section for legal issues. He killed someone.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Boy, man, the
that
connections
is-
to this show.
Alright.
Hold on, let me read this off. On August 9th, 2014, Stewart competed in the evening sprint car race at Candiagua Motorsports Park, and I'm not reading that name again. About halfway through the race, Stewart bumped Kevin Ward Jr., causing Ward to lose control and spin out into the wall.
Oh.
Dude, if you think that's sad, I have even worse news thanks to the chat. J. Arthur, Monster Games was bought in January of 2022 by iRacing, a mobile game developer.
Oh no.
Clearly,
Monster
they're
Games-
in better
Monster Games
straits
is
than
now-
when they worked with Nintendo.
But like, how do you go from like working on all these great Nintendo games is like NASCAR, baby? That's our life now.
Money.
To be fair, there's probably a lot of developers that jump ship to Nintendo at the very least.
You know the guys who developed the guys who made Legacy of Goku games on the GBA,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the Duckfoot game. It was like Web Games or something.
Webfoot.
Yeah. Do you remember
Yeah.
what their last game was?
Oh, I could tell you what their last game was.
Unless I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure their last game they did, because I know they're working on a Legacy of Goku-like game, but the last released game they had was actually the Activision-published 3DS Legend of Korra game, which is straight up just Fire Emblem.
You know what the last thing they released, period, was? It was a gambling machine.
Oh,
That's
Konami.
Konami.
All right.
Let's-
At the very least.
Oh, not even. They just
Oh.
they just also do that.
Yo, shout out though, they did the DS port of You Don't Know Jack.
Oh.
Also, just to bring this back to Platinum, I'm very salty still that the Legend of Korra game, the good one by Platinum, was download only and has now been delisted. And that was the only Activision Platinum game that was not given a physical release, which really sucked. Because, like, when you think of the shitty Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, that got a physical, but Legend of Korra did not. I'm a Legend of Korra defender. I like that Platinum game.
I was actually at a retro game store today, and I saw not Turtles, but I did see Transformers Devastation.
That game,
$20,
great.
PS3.
That's a great game.
So it's not a
That-
devastation.
That is the most successful of those three Guns for Hire games they did with Activision.
Bad news. Webfoot Game Twitter account has just decided to only want to post about NFTs now, so
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
let's go!
we're gonna end this show on a bad note. Yo, shout out to them though. They were posting about NFTs in September of 2021.
Damn.
They were ahead. They
Ahead of
were
the
ahead of the
game.
game. They were disappointing us very, very much ahead of time.
They were disappointing us before we even knew we wanted to be disappointed.
Well, guys, on that sad note, we should end the show because I think it's almost midnight for all.
It
of you.
is almost midnight for everyone here.
Yes.
Except me. I'm an old Midwestern boy. Got to get my
You're an old
Genshin
man.
Impact on.
Oh my god.
So
Or
I'll let you start. Where do you want people to find you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, you can of course find me through my YouTube channel, Conductor Alto. Unfortunately, I do not think I have an official link yet, so just type Conductor Alto into your YouTube search bar, and I should show up. I plan on making videos soon. The Xeno podcast is the only thing I have right now as of late, but I do promise that more is on the way. You can check me out as an assistant to the Crest Scholar channel for YouTube, the Byleth Crest Scholar channel, Lab Team channel, whatever the hell we're calling it right now, because it's been a while. And you can also find me in the Stella Glow Discord or the Stella Glow Reddit. I mod the Reddit, and I am the owner of the Discord, and we're always looking for more people in the community just to share our love with the game with. And on Twitter,
On sale.
I am smmarth_. I think I am SM_MarthSSBM. I cannot remember for the life of me. I need to change that tag. I will change that tag.
By episode 2, will you change that tag?
Depends on when episode 2 is, Spencer. Are we going to have it next month like we've been trying to?
Monthly, baby.
Alright, then hopefully by next month I will have that tag changed to Conductor Alto.
Mac.
Hi.
Where can they find your big old beautiful face?
I don't know. I've never been here before. Who am I?
That's
Who are
true.
you?
I am. You can just call me Daddy. I also
Oh,
refer.
Papa.
Okay.
Papa, I want milk.
Oh no, I know where this is
Papa
going.
Macca.
Yeah.
Papa Macca over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Osan.
No, find me at Macca on YouTube, JBO Macca, basically everywhere else. JBO.
Can
You
we
mind if I
refer
just
to
call
you
you
as
J-Bo now?
Please?
J-Bo.
J-Bo, get on over here. Yo.
Hey J-Bo, how you
Hello.
doing?
People
Hey
who
J-Bo, are you
genuinely
ready to
will look
record
at my
13
username
Sentinels on
on
Monday?
stuff. They'll look at my username on stuff and they see JBO Macca and they call me JBO.
That's like such
I'm like-
a cute name, though.
And I'm like, why that when Macca's like a much clearer, easier name?
I'm gonna be real. You're better without the Jack's bag of, because now I will just think of J-Bo.
I agree. JBO is the best. I do
Wait,
like
that's what it
J-Bo
stands
and,
for,
like,
Jack's bag of...
I never actually knew that.
I
Yeah,
am
it's
so
how
we
glad
know.
you guys thought that he was just J-Bo for no reason.
I honestly
Yeah.
thought it was just J-Bo for no reason. I'm not gonna lie.
Couldn't
No,
quite get
it's
that
their-
guy, so he had to just like type in random numbers and letters until he got it.
Ugh.
They
But
call
yeah.
him Jabo the Himbo.
There you go. Find me.
No.
Do it.
I'm under your bed.
All right, Ringbo.
Ringbo?
Oh snap! Well, you heard it, folks. My name is Ringo now. Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitch over on the channel Ringo Ashburn, no spaces. And I do a lot of Tales of streams there, and also on Twitter at Ringo Ashburn. Pretty much it. So if you guys like that kind of stuff, go ahead and check me out. Really do appreciate it. And where can they find you, Spencer?
Right here on YouTube or podcast services, wherever you want. But YouTube's a good spot to catch all my shenanigans. I was supposed to do a video today that was going to be a big boy video, but I just played games all day instead because I normally don't actually give myself days off. But I'll have a big boy video coming out soon talking about all my games that I've been playing. Hopefully when I actually touch Triangle Strategy, that'll be included. So just stay tuned for more podcast discussions, friend stuff, and I'm just going to will this into existence. By the next episode, Mac will have done maybe his own podcast. It will just be the world's first, because I know this is not on YouTube already, spoiler cast for Triangle Strategy, because God forbid more than 3 people play that game on YouTube.
That's Ringbo over there.
Rainbow.
And that's Ringo
That's
over there.
Rainbow over there.
There's Rainbow over
Mac,
there.
I'm giving
Ringo.
you the easiest podcast name ever. Ready for it? It's the J Podcast. J Podcast. The Jable.
Jabo-cast.
Jabo Podcast.
Jack's
Yo!
bag of podcasts.
Guys,
Actually, that works.
I am legitimately eating crow right now. I looked it up just for shits and giggles, just be like, I'm sure no one's actually done the triangle. 12 days ago. But shout out to this. This does not bode well to anyone wanting to do a spoiler cast. With only 228 views 12 days ago. Yo, this channel has got a ton of subscribers too. That is a horrifying... Okay, Save Data did a spoiler cast 12 days ago for Triangle Strategy. Their worst video by far. That is horrifying.
Oh, no.
But shout out to Save Data. If
So
you
what
want an
you're
almost
saying
2-hour
is that I
discussion,
could do a Stella Glow podcast and get more views.
don't count your J-Bos before they hatch, because I'm not sure. Yo, I'm gonna type that in. Probably no Stella Glow spoiler cast.
To be honest,
Gotta start a
I could
Tales
drag Will and you into this, Spencer.
Yo, shout out though to Tark's Gauntlet, first video that came up, the last game by Image Pooch in all caps, which I like that they put that there as if anyone on YouTube besides like all 3 of us weirdos would know who Image Pooch is.
Yeah.
You know, it's thought that counts.
You guys are dorks.
We are dorks.
Hey,
well,
I'm
everybody,
a
thanks for
certified
listening to the
dweeb.
Pokemon podcast. We're gonna say goodbye the only way we know how. Hopefully, you guys will do better than Marsh when I asked him to do this. So, instead of saying goodbye, we're all gonna pretend we're Lego pieces, and we're all going to say our Lego death noise. We have to make the noise with our mouths. Are you ready?
How do we...
You're a little Lego Alto, little Lego Conductor hat, and you've just been destroyed. What is your Lego death noise? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jabo and Ringo, you ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Ah!
There was only 3 noises. Who calmed
Mac-
down? Who made
Mac-
the noise?
Mac, what's your death noise?
Was
Mac?
that
Mac.
it? It's just silence.
Did you guys not hear that?
No, we
literally,
didn't.
it didn't get picked up at all.
Damn it! Oh, I was playing sex sounds.
God damn.
On my phone.
I'm on YouTube, you motherfucker.
Jabo's noise is just wet thighs slapping together. Just
Lady very clearly faking an orgasm.
Oh god.
All right. Well, I suppose that's where we're gonna end it.
Oh, what
All
a
right.
That's
interesting
where my
way to.
recording ended.
God.
Oh boy, what a hoot and a holler.
Yep, and I will just
Join us
deafen real
next time
quick.
for more
Alright, guys. That was the Xeno podcast. I'm glad you all showed up, to whoever showed up. I'm glad if anyone is watching this, they watched all the way through. And I'm happy to have you here. More videos will be on the way soon, and thank you very much for watching. I'm Conductor Alto, and I will see you later.